You're listening to SM Media, the home of exclusive West of Scotland Football League content. Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media West of Scotland Football Show. I'm Scotland Pike. It's always a pleasure to be your host. And we've got a good guest on this week's episode. I'm delighted to welcome the manager of Kilbirnie Ladeside. It's a pleasure to welcome back onto the show, Colin Spence.
Pleasure to be here, Scott. It's good to see you again, mate.
Yeah, all good. How you doing?
I'm great. I can't complain, mate. Got a wee day off today, so making the most of it. And a good wee chat with you.
Very good. All things football, and it's probably a good time to get you on the show because you're on a sensational run. And I remember speaking to somebody at the start of the season who was a mutual friend of ours, and I'd asked about Kilbirnie, and he'd said they'll get there eventually. Said it'll take a bit of time. There's been kind of obviously changes. Obviously, you're selling Wally went in, and I'll get your thoughts on that in a second. But you've picked up massively over the next few weeks, and you're now, from what looked a kind of bad position, maybe even just in November, now in a sensational position from then. What's been the difference?
So obviously with a really slow start. We were in at Kilbirnie at the end of May. The season was done. Mm-hmm. The season was done, so it was really June. June we went in. We accepted the job. I think end of May we went in. We went in June, so it was a fair turnaround. Let's just say I think there was only 6 players left in their books. We didn't have a goalkeeper. One of the 6 had a knee operation. He wasn't going to be ready for a while, so I think we were left with like five fit players. So it was a big turnaround, bringing the group in, and also we tried a style of play that probably wasn't working. So I think maybe the line in the sand was up at Petershill just before Christmas time, and they beat us 5-1, and it was 5 at half time. It was a tough night. And I think me and Wally had done a lot of soul searching that night and for the few days after it. And maybe a good thing the boys were away to Dublin, their Christmas night out that weekend as well. So we had a wee weekend off and basically went back to basics, Scott. Back to basics, use our experience, and I think we've galvanised the group. We're trying to play maybe an expansive style of football, full-backs wide and high, and midfielders dropping in, taking the ball. And listen, it wasn't working. So we had to change something, and it's all credit to the boys, but because they went and bought into what we've done. Our Christmas time, we basically changed the style of play slightly, and listen, to a man, they've been unbelievable since then. We're unbeaten since then. Since that night at Petershill, went this unbelievable run. I think we won 5 out of the last 6 games. So it's all down to the players, if I'm being honest. We've also brought Chris Black in about that time. It was a great experience. He's helped, and for me, I think we've got the best goalkeeper in the league. Jamie McGowan, we brought him in at a similar time as well, and Jamie's been a big difference in the goals there. He's been excellent for us. So that's just slight changes, and I say it's all down to the players, but they've made it work, and we can see we've got a proper team in the partner. They're really, really working hard for each other, and we look like an extremely difficult team to play against. And as a manager, that's what you want people to be saying about your team.
And obviously, you had a time obviously at Meadow, kind of a couple of seasons ago, and obviously didn't work out, and that's been a kind of difficult situation in terms of the club that I'll get your thoughts on later on. But was there any doubts going into another kind of big junior club like Kilbirnie? What was your kind of, how did the job come about, and what was your overall kind of thoughts on the way the club's been kind of operating? Obviously they've been part of the Premier Division for a long time. They're obviously trying to get back there. What was it about the job that excited you?
Well, when I left Meadow, that was the first time Scott had been out of the game for 20 years. So yeah. I was actually enjoying it. I was enjoying a wee break, spending some family time, and it was, listen, you know, it's like a football. It's a big commitment. So it was great having no ties to it. A wee bit of time off. I was keeping my eye in, but I was watching the Premier League, and I was keeping my eye in. I was going to some games. I got an opportunity to go back into the Premier League, but I felt it was too early at the time. That was about the March time, and I felt I wasn't quite ready just to go back in. I would have preferred to wait till the summer, and then Gordon got in touch with Kilbirnie around the May time just to see if I would be interested in getting into Kilbirnie. Obviously the league below, but straight away it was a job that it got my attention straight away. And when I went and spoke to Gordon and Ian, there was something about the job that I fancied getting in there and trying to get the club back to where they should be, because it's a massive club. It's a great club. I've really enjoyed it. People in there, they're different class. Even when we were on a bad run, there was nothing but support. There was never any pressure put on myself and Wally. It was all support, which makes it so much easier to do your job and to be able to turn it around, because if these guys are putting you under pressure, you probably don't make the same decisions. You probably become a wee bit more erratic, found that in the past. So we were left in peace to do our job, and it's a great club. And Saturday, you could feel there was a wee feel-good factor about the place again. There was a buzz about the place, a big crowd there. And a lot of fans are saying that if we can keep this going, it's going to get, the crowds will come back. They'll come back. Because listen, they've been through the ringer a wee bit as well, obviously, the relegation season. And no doubt last season they'd have hoped to come straight back up and bounce straight back up. So the disappointment of that as well. You can see they're a wee bit maybe disgruntled lately, but we need the fans behind us, and the players will rise to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously the one thing we're going into the First Division is, as we say all the time, and we'll say it again with some of the results this weekend, it's so unpredictable, and it's a league where any sort of run can just put you in a really good position. Have you kind of found that? And obviously, as you say, he's on a great run just now, and he's climbing up the table. But one thing is that it's really difficult to maintain that run, because it is such a tough league to assess. I mean, every week I try and predict the results, and it's impossible.
It is. Well, I thought we were worthy winners on Saturday against Johnstone Borough, and we were a few bodies light, if I'm being honest. So, and I look back over that wee run we've been on. Whitlets was as hard a game as we've had. You know, Whitlets were down 2-0 at Whitlets. They're bottom of the league. Also, they get the new management team in there, and they're on the back of a wee bounce there. But you know, they've tested us to the limit every bit as much as Johnstone Borough, they've easily got the best squad in the league. Whether they're the best team in the league or not, that's maybe up for discussion. But there's no doubt they've got the best squad in the league. So 100% that just proves you got Whitlets at the bottom, and you're playing near Johnstone Borough, who will be a team at the top, and the games are just as difficult as each other for different reasons. But and everywhere in between, you see Saturday Thornwood picking up results. You'll get St Roch's beating the Buffs. Blantyre are still up there. You'll get Shotts in a good position. Ashfield scoring goals for fun. It's a phenomenal league. And it's a league, if I'm being honest, I probably underestimated a wee bit when I went in there in the summer. It's a lot better than standard-wise than what I thought. It's a really, really strong league. Some big clubs in that league.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's some big clubs in that league, and obviously at Kilbirnie, I want to get your thoughts on kind of the way your kind of goals have been distributed, because I'm just looking at the kind of stats just now. John Scullion's got 14, Scott Lewis has got 12, Ryan Connolly's got 9, and then you've got likes of Alex Bell, Daniel Bamford, Ryan McCubbin, all kind of chipping in as well. Chris Black's chipped in with a couple. There's a nice spread round about the squad, but obviously you've got the likes of Ryan Connolly, who was very good last season. John Scullion's been doing it for years at Kilbirnie, and Scott Lewis. There's a really good mix of kind of experience and youth in that squad. Has that been kind of one of the things you wanted to implement?
Aye, well, Scotty and Scully have been getting the goals lately, and we lost both of them on Tuesday night. Both of them limped out of training Tuesday, so right. The game on Saturday minus day two. So there's what's that, 26 goals you're missing, and then it just shows you the boys step up to the plate. You know, Alec Bell has been phenomenal last couple of games. He's been very good off the bench. He's been out the team because the front three, Scully, Scotty, and Ryan have been performing very well, but Big Belly's been coming off the bench, and he's been a handful. And the last couple of games, he's stepped up to the mark. Mickey Wilson steps up on Saturday with a free kick. And if Skilly's playing, probably Mickey doesn't hit that free kick. So, the goals have been spread about. Obviously, they two up the top have been scoring. There you go, Ryan. I didn't realise Ryan was in 9. So the wee man's been chipping in. He's been brilliant. Probably a slow start at the start of the season, and he's really found his feet as well. The wee man probably been one of the most consistent player. Scotty Lewis has missed about 5 games through suspension this season as well. So I keep saying to him where he could have been fit and available. Obviously, he's got a wee injury now as well, so he might miss some more games. Like if he was available day games early in the season, we could be in a different position as well. Listen, we've always been scoring goals. I think we're the third top goal scorers in the league. It's the way we play. We play in the front foot, and we always have a go at teams, no matter who we're playing. It was the other end we were our biggest problem, our biggest issue. To say Jamie McGill's come in, and Jamie's our fourth goalkeeper this season, which is it's far from ideal in through goalkeepers, because for me it's the most important position in the team to get the continuity in there. But we're slowly but surely starting to tighten up at the back now, which obviously results in getting good results every week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll get your thoughts on the game against Johnson as we talk about the First Division. But we'll start in the top flight over the weekend. It was a busy league week with a lot of games in every league, and we'll cover them individually. We'll start with your old club, Auchinleck. They beat Benburb 3-0, goals from McAvoy, Gillis and Boyd. And we were talking about it off air. I remember at the start of the season not been very high in Talbot, and where, like, even thinking, could they be kind of mid-table, be where they'll be this season. But you look at how well they've done so far, and another home win, another clean sheet, and they are not out of this title race. And if there's any team that can go on a run between now and the end of the season and put a real challenge up on the top sides, it's Auchinleck. And it just is testament again, as you know, just how well Tucker's done.
Aye, that's all down to the management there. For me, they lost too many players this summer, too many big players. It's very un-Talbot-like to lose 7, 8, 9 players in the one summer. Normally Tommy's very cute at keeping the continuity and maybe flipping 3 or 4 players and keeping everybody on their toes. But it was very unlike them this summer to see the turnover and to lose so many big players as well, experienced players who've been over the course so many times. So to see them coming so strong now with probably such a youthful team, it's been some achievement. They're in a great position. Well, they're in a position to go and attack the numbers there that Clydebank have set. Obviously, being in a good position, but no, they're doing really well. And I'm delighted to see Connor Boyd. It's a boy that me and James brought in for the amateur football. Gave him his chance, and he's took it. And I had no doubt Connor would go on and play at the top of this game. And I think by all accounts now, what I hear, he's the top man now at Talbot, and I'm no surprised at that. But no, they seem to be scoring goals as well now. And they're a formidable place, because listen, I like Benburb. Benburb are a difficult team to play against. They always punch above their weight. Certainly had a really good season them as well. So a very strong 3-0 result for Auchinleck Talbot.
What did you think at the start of the season? Because I remember doing the prediction show, and I remember obviously speaking to a lot of people at Talbot and like kind of round about Talbot, and they said, and noticing the players that were leaving and thinking, like, they'll not. I didn't think they would challenge, but I didn't think they would start the way they did. But again, the way they've just picked it up. They're in the semi-final with the Junior Cup, which as we know, as you know as well, is massive to them. And they've just massively picked up. But at the start of the season, I remember people saying, "Oh, Tucker's done" and things like that, and I just thought that was nonsense, because I mean, there should be a statue at Beechwood for him. There really should. And
aye,
how do you? I mean, we can't speak enough just about how he's obviously transformed the squad. It's been a lot of big characters leaving, and I've spoke to a lot of guys about it. Replacing them in the dressing room is just as hard as replacing them on the park, and I don't think a lot of people realise that. And I think just being where they are just now is way higher than I thought they would be at this point, because at the start I was thinking if they can even finish 6th, that'll be an achievement, but they're not. They'll finish higher than 6th just based on their form at the moment.
Aye, they're firing now. They've got the momentum with them. Obviously, at the start of the season, I never ever seen them being in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
But Tommy's he likes to work with younger players. That's his go-to, and he's brought a core of young players in, and he'll get his mentality into them, and he's done it quicker than what a lot of people would have thought. And again, the people at Tap, they don't panic. They trust him. They trust him to get it right. And obviously Alan there, he's number 2. He's long-serving number 2. They always get it right. Let's be honest, and they use the cups to the advantage. I'm disappointed we're out of the cups so early, because the cup games are massive. They keep the momentum going as well, and they keep everybody on their toes, because you want to play in these big quarterfinals and the big semi-finals. And it just, the level of performance goes up when you're still in the cups. So they've got that to look forward to. Obviously, the semi-final is Scottish, and that'll keep their momentum going in the league, I'd imagine. But no, they seem like they've got a good group of young players there. Hungry young players is the word that I would use, and it's Tommy's go-to thing. Get young, hungry players in who want to go and win medals, as opposed to looking for a big wage at the end of the week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been a massive lot of credit has to go to Auchinleck for their run so far. A good result for Bees. They returned to second place. They won 3-0 away to Rob Roy. Goals from Scott Ruff, Kieran Diver and Carlo Monte. That was a big result for Bees, obviously, with Clydebank no playing and obviously the chance to go back to second place. They're in, I think that'll be probably one of their biggest results of the season in a lot of their minds.
Actually, the defeat last weekend, didn't they?
Yeah.
So maybe people questioning Beef there and whether the wheels are going to fall off a little bit. But they're still in such a strong position. If Straney can go there and get 2 in a row, that's an unbelievable achievement for Beef, because I don't think many people would have predicted them to win that league last season. So for them to go again, listen, they're losing big players along the way. Also, the boy that scored the goals, Fowler, last season, and they've lost the boy Rossiter again this season. So they're losing big players out their team, but it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. He's also got them playing in a style where they can afford to lose 1 or 2 and they keep going strong. So not a big result, and as you say, it keeps the pressure on Clydebank, who've already posted a bit points on the board so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some big games coming up for Bees as
I
well.
think a special mention go to wee Carlo. I think wee Carlo still.
Yeah.
What I hear, he's pulling the strings there. A phenomenal player. He's a top player, and I think maybe he is the only one. If they were to lose out the team, it'd be difficult to replace wee Carlo Monte. But I take my hat off to him.
No, absolutely. I think as well. I think a goal and two assists he got at the weekend. He's still doing it, and kind of full credit to him. Next results: St Cadoc's won, Darvel won. McTaggart in the score sheet for St Cadoc's and Jordan Moore scoring for Darvel. I think both sides will probably. I think a draw would have probably been in a lot of people's minds getting into the game, but I think both sides will be fairly disappointed that they didn't win it. Just going by what I hear about I think both sides are a lot of chances.
Aye, and listen, if one of the 2 of them had managed to get the 3 points, a big 3 points.
Yeah.
Also, maybe they just both settle for a point there. Both still in decent positions as well. St Cadoc's would have been disappointed to lose to Johnstone Borough in the quarters of last week. So probably no losing was quite important to them to bounce back. And then Darvel are still in, obviously, the Scottish Cup. And they're still, listen, you can't rule Darvel out either. They've got experienced players that have been in one things. So listen, it's St Cadoc's first year up in the top league. They've done incredibly well. And listen, they're still in a great position in that league.
Right, I'm going to put you in the spot here, and I don't do this very often, but looking at the top right, what I think, if kind of results go the way, it's probably a 5-horse race at the moment for the title. Right now, in the middle of February, who wins it? I'm going to put you in the spot.
For me, I think Clydebank are always there and thereabout, but for me, Clydebank don't have they got that winning mentality of winning trophies. You know, they get to cup finals. Can they win the league? That will be the big question mark over them. They've done it last year. Been there, done it. They'll be so hungry. Listen, when you start winning, it becomes an obsession. It did with me. It becomes an obsession. You want to. You get the feeling of winning. For me, that gives Beef the edge. It gives them the edge to go and do it again. St Cadoc's can't be ruled out. But for me, Clydebank have got the points to the board, but they've got the games in hand there. And if they can go and win a couple of their games in hand, they're in a great position. As I said, the boys that they've got there went and done it last season, and for me, that gives them the edge. So I would need to go with Beef.
Interesting. It was a weekend of comebacks at kind of different sides of the table. We'll start at Hurlford. Hurlford were 3-0 up against Glenafton. A double from Michael Mullen, a goal for Ali Love, and looked to be cruising to a victory. But a remarkable comeback in the second half of Glenafton. Bullet for Gary Fraser, and then a hat trick for Liam Caddis too for the penalty spot. And Glenafton won the match 4-3. And looking at that table, with Rob Roy obviously not winning, getting beat by B, that is a massive 3 points for Glenafton.
It is, and I tell you what, I would not like to have been in that Hurlford dressing room after the game.
Me neither.
Darren would have been going off his nut to lose a 3-goal lead. He would not have been a happy camper at all. What a win for Glenafton. I think they needed it. When you look at the league table there, it's a massive 3 points. And is that the win that gives Caddis the belief now, and his boys the belief to go and kick on, to try and hunt down Kirkintilloch, Rob Roy there, because But they're the type of wins that do wonders for your dressing room. There's the belief that you can come down for the character they must have there as well, to be 3 down to a team like Hurlford. And I think they got a couple of penalties. Liam Gaddis scored a couple of penalties there, but to keep going for 3-0 down, and it's a phenomenal comeback that. And if you like Sir Rob Roy and Troon even still are hearing they're 3 down at half time, they're looking at thinking, oh, Glenafton have lost again. So to come back in after the game and you find out they've won that game 4-3, that could be a big one for them belief wise. So a big shot in the foot there for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's even more impressive when you consider the fact they were 2-0 up last weekend against Lags and lost that game 3-2. So they were on the other end of it last week. So to pull themselves up is unbelievable. I think that could be a massive statement win for Glenafton.
They've got a lot of experience. Glenafton's got a lot of experience.
I
With
noticed
David
that,
Mackey, they've got Pettigrew, Big Ollie. Also Caddis is in there now. The boy that scored the goal as well. Gary Fraser. So they've got a lot of experience in there. So if anybody's going to pull their way with that bottom three, I think it'll be Glenafton.
Yeah, and a big result as well for Troon. They were 3-0 down away to Gartcairn. Mitchell, Ferguson and Riley with the goals for Gartcairn before. A brilliant comeback for Troon. Dunlop, Fulton and a late goal from Warren Omar gave Troon a big point. That's a big point for Troon as well. Gartcairn will be feeling similar to Hurlford with it, but they thought they were 3-0 up and cruising, and they've obviously not won the game, and it's probably worked out very different than what a lot of people would have thought.
Troon, for me, will be fine. They've got, with Dino and Jimmy, Troon actually trying to do really well this year. I thought they would have finished higher up that league because we've got a lot of firepower there. We've got a lot of really good players in the forward areas. And speaking to Dino a couple of weeks ago, he says I've been killed this year with injuries on the same areas: defensive injuries, midfield injuries, which it's no easy when you've not got the biggest squad to deal with that. But I think if they get a few of their bodies back, Troon will be okay. I think they'll get enough points on the board. But Gartcairn as well, Mix went in there, just won the league last year, and they've come up this year and they're doing great. That's obviously they've recruited extremely well this year. So when you're 3 up with the players he's got now, he'll be very disappointed to not win that game, and they want to finish up the league as high as they possibly can. But Gartcairn have done really well this season, so they'll take the point and they'll move on to the next game, and every game they go into they'll be a threat. Yeah,
absolutely. Big result for Lags as well, back-to-back victories, 1-0 home win over Irvine Meadow. And Lags again, just similar to what Arnley does, he just goes about their business quietly, and I think they'll be rock solid this season.
Aye, he's always got them finishing in a decent enough position. I think they're always very strong at home. Lags, never an easy place to go. Again, one of my ex-players, with Jamie Martin, getting the goal. I've seen it. He'll claim it's a shot. I'm thinking it's maybe across the back post. But the wee man there, he'll text me just shortly, no doubt. But they'll be fine. Lags will be absolutely fine. Obviously, from Old Club Meadow, they was hoping after a good win last week they would have bounced back and get another 3 points back-to-back wins and maybe build a bit of momentum. But it's looking ominous for them now. I must admit.
Do you think they need a season just to come down? Obviously, it's been a bit. I think they've been through a lot of managers in the past couple of seasons, as you know as well. But do you think they maybe need that season just to get down and kind of rebuild and try and go again, because they're too big a club to stay down, I think. But it's just been a bit chaotic there for a wee while.
It's a revolving door. It's certainly think the squad of players that me and James left them with was a top four. It was a top four group of players we had there. It was such a strong group, and I also kept an eye on it. And it just felt like I found it a strange decision the way they were letting a lot of their players go, and they're top Premier League players, and I think they're reaping what they sow now there with that. Maybe the recruitment's not been as strong to replace the guys they've let go, and they're such a big club. But I'll tell you now, getting down to that First Division is no easy.
No, it's
really no easy. Especially if they were looking to have another massive turnover of players again in the summer. So it's a difficult job. Obviously, Ben's went in there and they were probably hoping when Ben took over they would have got a wee bounce, a wee new manager kick. It just didn't seem to. It didn't seem to materialise for him, or for whatever reason. But as I said, with the win against Paul last week, they would have been hoping to go to Lads. They need to be beating the teams like Lads who are just up and round about them to have any chance, and they're maybe just running out of games now.
Yeah, I think that could be the case as well. Final result in the Premier Division: Atherley 2, Pollock 2, Dykes and Bolger with the goals for Atherley, Duff and Docherty with the goals for Pollock. Pollock missed a penalty as well. Pollock, obviously, we know the past couple of weeks things haven't been great, and I think they will, just going by what I'm hearing, I think they will be in a good position going forward. Atherley, I think they'll be looking at that as a missed opportunity, especially with Glenafton above them winning. And it's two sides that are just needing a wee spark.
I will obviously Atherley get a massive boost last weekend in
Yeah.
the semi-final of Scottish. That's such a great result for them to be in the semi, the last four of the Scottish Cup. Probably would feel they were getting Pollock at a good time as well. But listen, I think they'll take the point. They'll take the point. Pollock having a pretty disappointing season. Maxie would have been hoping to finish a wee bit higher up the table. Obviously, it's been highlighted they've got problems behind the scenes. So they'll just be looking to regroup and go again. For me, Pollock's a massive club. They really are one of the biggest clubs in that division easily. Crowds are massive. Always a great place to go and play. So they'll always attract good players. Good players. I'm sure Pollock will be absolutely fine. Obviously, Atherley are not sitting in a great position in the league now. They'll be looking to win a few of their games in hand and try and pull in Rob Roy. It's looking for me, like as I say, I think Troon will be fine. So it's looking for me that it's any three for the four there, for the bottom four as it sits there now. Can't see anybody else getting dragged into it. So
No.
Atherley will need to go and win their couple of games in hand, and again with them being in the Scottish Cup, that might just give them the lift and it'll keep all the players on their toes just to get that wee bit extra for them. They've got some good players there as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll move into the First Division. We'll start obviously Kilbirnie 2, Johnson Borough 0, Wilson and Bell with the goals. Keeps that run going. If I'm right in saying, I think it's unbeaten in 6 in the league.
Seven.
There you go.
Yeah,
I've
seven unbeaten.
Some
Two draws in there,
achievement.
five wins. So, listen, it's all about momentum. This time of the season, you're hitting form at the right time. There's always somebody comes out of the pack. Hopefully, it's us. But listen, I'm not looking too far ahead. It'd be a minor miracle if we could try and sneak into the top three. We just look one game ahead. It's Neilston next week. If Clydebank win the league, I believe the fourth team in our league possibly go up. So we need to keep winning more games, and you never know. You quite simply never know. But listen, one thing we can't take our eye off the ball for a minute. I start thinking we're a better side than what we are. We'll keep doing what we're doing, and we'll focus on Neilston, and we'll give them all the respect that they're due. But listen, obviously we beat Johnson Borough, but you can see they've got quality. They've got quality all the park. Even at half time, they're bringing 3 subs on, and Dan Christie's one of them. So you've got big Kyle Lafferty there, and standing on the bench. So they've got tons of quality. So, and they've got the games in hand as well. So you'd imagine at some point they'll go on a run as well and rack up the points.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move into another really good result over the weekend. It was Thornleywood 3, Rutherglen 0. Forbes, Smith and McDonald with the goals for Thornleywood. And Thornleywood, the situation didn't look good, but I think they're unbeaten in the last 4. They obviously won at the Buffs last week and then beaten Rutherglen, so that something's changing at Thornleywood.
I know Stockley bombs last week as well. I think he follows their fixtures now. He was asking about the Rutherglen game last week, and then I'm sure they play Johnston Borough now this week. So he was picking my brains last week. Great result for him. I'm delighted to see him doing so well, because I think we were struggling down there, and they were down ways not long ago. So he's turned it around there as well, and he's also made a big signing a couple of weeks ago, and they've got some brilliant results there. So there's no much in this league. All the teams there are strong. Rutherglen were doing really well a few weeks ago. They'll be looking now to try and stop this bad run they're on, and they need to try and kick on again, or they'll fall out that promotion. But they're on.
Yeah, absolutely. Petershill, big win for them. Obviously, late winner from Piers McGarvey, a 1-0 home win over Cambers Lang. And in a week where Blantyre obviously were held to a draw, Kilwinning didn't win. They've now got a 6-point lead at the top, and to win 1-0, hard fought win, that could be huge.
They've done that a lot, Petershill. I think they've scored some big late goals. So if they go up, they'll have that to look to. Obviously, they keep going to the end, and they manage to get these these last minute winners. I thought they'd maybe have missed Darren Muller a wee bit more, but they're still getting results. They've played more games than everybody. I think the top three have all played more games now, so it's really hard. Our league's so hard to gauge. It's pointless looking at the league table now. It really is. Maybe in another 6 weeks, maybe have a wee look at it and see who's to play who in the run-in, because at this minute in time, it gives me a wee bit of sore head when I look at it with the teams that have played more games and try to work things out. But big 3 points, and a wee bit unlucky. Cambuslang gave us a really tough game a couple of weeks ago. Ended up getting a couple of boys sent off, which had a big bearing on the game. But Paul still them fighting for their lives, and probably a wee bit gutted they've not got a point there up at Petershill. Would have been a big point for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge win for St Roch's at home to the Buffs. They won 2-0, Brennan and Thompson. And obviously St Roch's, it gives them, obviously with Cambuslang not winning, it means they're 3 points ahead of them. They've got games in hand, the likes of Maybole and Renfrew as well. And I think St Roch's will be fine. I think Ian's finally beginning to get the kind of squad gelled as the way he wants it. And I do think that could be a pivotal 3 points for St Roch's.
We've still got them to play twice in the league. It is in the west of Scotland at our bit. They were 2 up. We actually rolled back for 2 down to 2 each, and they scored a goal late on to win that game. So we're still to play them twice in the league. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They seem to score goals. That was a big win for them against Colin. But they seem to have a bit of turnover of players as well. They seem to have let a few go and they're bringing a few in. So I think you're right. I think he's just trying to find his strongest team there and his strongest squad, and they're probably already have a wee half eye in building for next season, try to keep the group together. So no, I think St Roch's will be absolutely fine. So that's a tough place to go as well, to be honest.
Absolutely. Big result for Drumchapel as well. 1-0 win away to Whitlett's 10th goal of the season for Jack Breen. And Drumchapel are again a team I wouldn't rule out either. They've got the goals. That's a big win, because obviously Whitlett's have been on a massive upward trajectory since Mick went in. And they're getting there. I think Drumchapel have got a lot of games to make. I think they've only played 18. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how Drumchapel finish the season.
They seem to score goals as well. Drumchapel, they're one of the higher score teams in the league as well. We've played them through their bit, and they gave us a bit of doing. We were down to 9 men that day after 25 minutes. That was a very difficult day for us, but they made the most of it. They get the ball wide, and they've got slick there and still scores goals. They've got good experience as well from Chapel, and obviously they've got the plastic park up there. So they just missed out last year. I think they just missed out last year. So they'll be looking to get over that disappointment. Maybe that experience last year will help them in the run in this year. So they'll definitely be looking to go up. I think for what I heard, Whitlett's were very unlucky, enough. Not only take a point, but not to win the game. So I think, unfortunately for Whitlett's, now they're running out of games. I think probably they had to beat Maybole last week, and that gave them the confidence. But it just looks like maybe things are going against them now. We were losing the lead to Maybole last week, and then obviously no managing to find a net on Saturday after making so many chances. So it's maybe just looking like it's going to run out of games for Mick and David on there.
Yes, absolutely. Big result for Ashfield, 6-1 over Neilston. Ashfield have only played 16 games this season. They've won 10 of them, and 32 points, and they've scored 52 goals. Ashfield are a side I think they're just flying under the radar.
They're my favourites. They're my favourites to go up, and they're my favourites to win the league. I think they'll kick on and win the league. They've got a unique style. They've got a unique style. We were actually up 2-0 at half time against them, and we lost 5 goals the second half. That was before we probably get into our new style of playing, but they're good. They work the ball really well, and they move you about. They look to constantly move you. Like some wee Bobby Barza, he's a match winner. Boy Sinclair in the middle parts, a very good player. Their captain, he's the best defender in the league for me. He's very, very good. So I think Ashfield will be the eventual winners of the league. Neilston's a team we go to this Saturday. So they're fighting for their lives, and they'll probably think they need to go there and beat us. They need the 3 points. But listen, for them to go there and score 3 goals shows I've got a wee bit about them.
No, absolutely. Final result in the First Division: Maybole 1, Blantyre 1. Two sides at very different sides of the table. Blantyre obviously have just been so solid. They've been fairly consistent in terms of their performances. They're in second place. Maybole 22 points. What do you kind of think of that result? Because I don't think anybody would have said that a draw is not a fair result, because Blantyre have just been, well, Blantyre haven't been too flashy, but you think with Maybole they're just maybe drifting a wee bit?
We played Maybole a few weeks ago and we were very strong that day and we beat them. But they've also picked up since then. They've got the 3 points at Whitlets and a point yesterday. So they'll probably take the 4 points. They'll just be trying to. They've made a couple of good signings lately. Get Mick Lennox in. So they've maybe strengthened there, another goalkeeper in. So boy, McCracken's down there as well. So the new players getting in. Also, they lost Mick McCann as well. Mick was still a big player for them. So, it's probably not a bad point for them. We've played Blantyre twice and we took a point for 6 games, and I've no idea how we should have beat them twice. But it just shows you what they're all about. They hang in there, and they probably wear you down if anything. But we played pretty well against them in the 2 games, and we've only walked away with a point. So the Gibbies probably changed their style there. They used to be kind of always in the front foot, so they've maybe got a wee bit more pragmatic this season, but they're working and they'll get the points on the board as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move into the second division. Big weekend for away games. Caledonian Locomotives 1-4-1 away to Glasgow Union Friday night. Big result. Ardrossan lost 3-2 at home to Cumbernauld. They were 2-0 up actually, and Cumbernauld, brilliant comeback for them. Vale Clyde won 3-1 away to St Anthony's. Just looking at that table, obviously Ardrossan, they're still 12 points clear, but those are 3 big wins for the teams in second, third and fourth now. Caledonian 42 points, Vale Clyde 40, and Cumbernauld United on 39. So 3 big away victories.
Caledonian seem to be doing well lately. They seem to be getting a wee bit of momentum building as well. But listen, Ardrossan on a strong position, and I can't see past them. Gavin's done a great job there. I mean, big Gowser, and they'll be champions this year. I can't see by it. I don't think he'll be really caring as long as they go up. Obviously, winning the leagues, it's the cherry there. But they've been in such a good position, and they've got great experience in their team. Ardrossan train up next to us on a Tuesday night, and they've got some really, really good boys, some experienced boys in there. So they'll have enough about them to go on and win that league. And as I say, Caledonian, they came down last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think they're going to go up with them. Vale Clyde again went up last year with Ardrossan, so it's tight there after that. It's we're Cumbernauld, as you say, they're a good result as well. And you've got like Bonnet down there who struggled, who came down last year, and they're kind of toiling a wee bit. So again, these leagues, since the restructuring, these leagues are all so tight, and 16-team leagues are so strong these days.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as well, just kind of looking at some of the results at the other end of the table, big result for Larkhall 1-3-2 away to Glasgow Perthshire. Yoker 3, Muirkirk 1. Craig Mark, a big one for them, obviously beating Kilsyth 1-0. Your old pal Gordon Pope's obviously at Bonneton as well, and I think Bonneton, like, obviously it's been a fairly difficult couple of years. They've obviously come down and down, but you look at kind of Gordon getting in there, and I think Gordon's the right guy to get into a side like Bonneton.
I just try to stop the rot. Obviously, try to stop the rot, and they need to stay up this season. They need to stay in that league and then build over the summer. And him and Ian will they'll build a good youthful team. They've got a really good youth set up at Bonneton. They do really well. I think their under-20s are always the kind of top dogs.
Yeah.
And the pathway is massive for that club. A lot of clubs use the pathway, and I don't think a lot of clubs believe in it, but they do. They look to get their kids into the first team and get them as much experience as possible. But it's not obviously too good for Wishaw and Glasgow Uni down the bottom there. They'll need a few big results, and they'll need to get them quickly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Wishaw 2, Maryhill 2, Bonneton 1, fourth one. So it's a big weekend, obviously, for certain clubs in there. Into the third division.
We played Maryhill in a friendly. I was very impressed with Maryhill. They try and do it the right way. They try and play the right way. Well, that maybe doesn't always go for them. Whether they can change their styles on the heavier parts over the winter. But I was quite impressed with them. Well, there's a few good players in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll move into the third division. A big result, probably the result of the weekend. Kilsyth Athletic 3, Bellshill Athletic 0. Big result for Kilsyth, obviously takes them into 11th place. And Bellshill, I think that's only Bellshill's third defeat in the league. It's a big result over the weekend for Kilsyth Athletic.
I go for Bellshill to be in the quarter final, the Scottish Cup. You know what I mean? back in the day they were a Premier League side in the junior football, so they've obviously had a fall for grace as well. But maybe they've got a strong young team there, and they're looking to bounce back up. They've got a few games in hand, so they're in a very, very strong position there. Very strong position.
Absolutely. Fanat were held at home away to Port Glasgow 1-1. Vale of Leven are up to second. They won 2-1 at home to Dalry. And then if you were at Ardere, you got a thrilling game. 9 goals as Glasgow United won 5-4 away to Ardere. David Goodwillie with a hat-trick there. What's the kind of result out of the 4 that you would say was the most surprising?
A bit surprised that Ardere are down there, if I'm being honest. They've done really well at Ardere. They've done a lot of hard work behind the scenes, so I'd be disappointed to see them drop out of the league. So I'm surprised at that result there, because it's not an easy place to go as well. It really isn't. But Port Glasgow getting a good point. Port Glasgow getting a one each draw. That's a good result for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Lanark 5, Irvine Vicks 1. Lanark up to 4th. No very often Irvine Vicks will get beaten 5-1.
No, Dougie sets his teams up very hard to beat, hard to play against. So that's quite an eye-catching result as well. And obviously they're sitting neck and neck in the league there. Lanark now get games in hand over Irvine Vicks, so the Vicks probably had to beat them on Saturday to give themselves an opportunity, because they did such a good season last season, the Vicks. They pushed them all the way, and they just fell short, I think, the last few weeks. I think they maybe just didn't have the strength and depth in their squad, so Dougie were a wee bit disappointed he's no closer to the top 3 this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Other results, Les Mahago 1-2-1 away to West Park, 3-1-2-1 at home at Greenock, and 2-2 between Kello and Girvan, so big results there. Into the 4th division, it was a weekend of away wins, 5 away wins and 1 home win. Rossvale 1-5-0 away to Carluke, Lugar 1-4-1 away to East Kilbride Thistle, Thorn 3-1 away to Eglinton. Eglinton were 1-0 up. Big result for Giffnock, 1-0 away win over St Peters. And Easterhouse are really, really improving, 4-2-1 away to Knightswood, and Royal Albert 1-3-2 at home at Saltcoats. So that's 6 big sides. There's a lot of sides there, obviously, that seem to be in the ascendancy. Like looking at Lugar, looking at Giffnock, Royal Albert are picking up. That's a really, really good league.
I was talking to George at Lugar last week as well, and he was saying that he thought it was a must-win. He said he was going to Adam Connolly's East Kilbride team, and he felt that was a must-win. So to go and win as emphatically as that, he'll be over the moon, and it gives him an opportunity. It certainly does. It gives him a wee opportunity there to attack the top 3 sides. Obviously, Glenville sitting in a really good position. They've got good players there as well. Glenville, a few names that I'm well aware of there. So Glenville will be obviously the team that they need to catch, but I can't see anybody catching him. So it's probably maybe 4 or 5 other teams looking for the second and third spot. So it's very competitive, isn't it? It's very competitive. You can get Eglinton in there. Eglinton have got some too far away now, but they've got some very, very good experienced players. I think the First Division's it's been a great watch this season.
No, it absolutely has. And obviously this weekend there's some cup action, but Kilbirnie are in the league. Obviously, we mentioned that away to Neilston. Big game, obviously. 1-4-0 against them in October. What are you expecting? Because looking at the result against Ashfield, as you say, they were able to score 3 goals against a really, really strong Ashfield side, and they've got to a final of a cup as well. So it'll be a tough game. But how important is it to keep that balance, keep that run?
They beat St Rocks the week before as well.
Yeah.
So Neilston, at their bit particularly, they just signed big Terry Hewitt as well.
Yeah.
Massive, a tower of strength at the back for them. They've got Darren Jones up front and great experience. We beat them 4-0 on the season, but maybe flattered us a wee bit. So we need to just go there. We'll not change anything, Scott. We're in a good place at this minute in time. So we don't need to change too much, but we'll always fully respect anybody we're playing. I say it doesn't matter if you're playing a team in the bottom 3 or a team in the top 3. You need to go about it in the same manner, and that's what we'll do. But Neilston will probably feel they need to go there and beat us on Saturday. They need to start getting 3 points in the board, but we are difficult to play against this minute in time, so that's what we'll be again on Saturday. We'll be difficult to beat and we'll be difficult to play against.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as I say, it's been a pleasure to have you on, Colin, and I wish you all the best for the remainder of the season. I've been really impressed with the run you've been on, and thank you very much for joining me in this episode.
No, it's been a pleasure, Scott. Good to see you again, mate.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yeah. See you soon.
Thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in, folks. There'll be no show next week as I'm on holiday, so I'll be doing a roundup at some point next week. I don't know what day, but there will be a roundup going up on the channel at some point. But thank you very much, folks, and we'll see you all soon. Cheers.